Gratitude with your boy Devin D. Scott, president of the Freedom Finders and chief visionary officer of Emboldened Dreams, where we help former athletes build their dream life without wasting the most productive years trying to figure it out alone. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, happy hump day. I spelled identity right? Okay. I just see my notification pop. I thought I spelled identity wrong. But happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy hump day. If you don't know already, we're here to talk gratitude each and every day, because gratitude is the one thing that you can do that by doing so. Everything else can be easier or even unnecessary by simply getting to a state of gratitude and enabling for you to get in that state of receivership to get what you want, to get what you want, to get what you want. So if you're in the building, go ahead and put your gratitude down in the comments. We'll love to see them. Or if you're watching this on a replay, drop your gratitude down in the comments, or simply share your gratitude with someone else today and ask them what they are grateful for, because it is the one thing that you can do to improve everything. So with that being said, man, I want to get right into it today with my gratitude today. As a lot of y'all probably see the title if you're on the live, but the understanding today is I'm grateful for my identity. Now, I want to break down identity a little bit, because identity really is about what you believe. And about what title you give yourself. What is your affirmations, your I ams, right? That's really what more identity is about. But when we talk about setting goals, I ask myself this question. I'm like, what differentiates the people from having the same exact goal, but achieving different results? So that right there alone already put me in the situation, in the mindset of, it's not about the goal that you set. It has nothing to do with the goal you set, because you can set the same goal that I set, but I can make it and you can't, or you can make it and I can't, vice versa. It's not about just the goal. It's more about the process and the habits and the systems that you put in place in order to get to that goal. And that's where a lot of us mess up a lot. We just think that we can just manifest. We can just meditate. We can just speak just positive affirmations. And that was me too. I used to think that too. It'll just happen. And then it's like, well, okay, now you got to take action. It's like, well, what do you take action on? Right? And for the longest time, and I talked about this before, we talked about the process of be, do, have. You must become the person who can then do the thing. And then once you become that person who can do the thing, you then do the thing. And then from there, you can have the results that doing the thing gives you, right? And as I was talking about that, and as I was reading this morning, I'm reading this book called Atomic Habits. And Atomic Habits, basically turning your tiniest habits and turning them into processes, and building those positive habits and getting rid of all the negative and bad habits you have in your life. And they talked about the 3 layers of a behavior change, and it really related back to the be, do, have as well. So when we talk about me being grateful for my identity, it's because identity is the becoming piece. It's the be piece. It's the first part that most of us skip. The majority of us skip this piece, and we just go straight to, hey, you just got to take action. Just take action. Just take action. And I agree. If you don't take action, you're not going to get results. But before you even take any action, you have to become the person who can then do the thing, that can actually take the correct action that's going to lead you to the right results. Because for the longest time, for me in my life, I've been taking action. Action here, action there, a little action here, a little action there. But I never had the identity. I never identified who it is I'm actually, who I am. Right? I never identified that. And I've identified that through affirmations, but they kind of been jumping all over the place. It's like, okay, I'm a speaker. Okay, I'm this. Okay, I'm that. And it all boils down back to me as y'all see back here every day. I'm a coach. I am a coach. I'm not the, I'm a mentor to you too, but in heart, what fulfills me, I'm the coach. Because like I talked about the other day, the coach is going to give you the strategy and the tactics, the step-by-step play to go run that play, to get the result, to go win the championship. And guess what? The coach gets a ring too. As a mentor, the mentor's in the stands clapping, cheering you on, and more support from afar. I like to get up in there and I'm a coach, and that's my identity, and that's what I believe, and I am what I do, and I coach each and every day different people. But anyway, getting back to the 3 layers of a behavior change, there's 3 different layers. Now, there's outcome, and the reason I started with the goals, because there's outcome-based habits. because I hope I got across that it's not about the goal, it's about the habit and the process to get you to that goal. So there's outcome-based habits, which most of us set goals and habits around. We're saying, hey, I want to I want to read a book. This is keep it simple. I want to read a book. But instead of talking about I want to read a book, the goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. Did y'all catch that? The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. And that reader is now your identity. You identify yourself as I am a reader. There's also an analogy that I like to use about smoking. When people smoke, and if there's a smoker and they've been smoking for years, and they're like, if you say, hey, you want a cigarette? And they're like, nah, I'm trying to quit smoking, right? They still have the identity of a smoker, which in the long run, they're going to eventually come back, and it's easier to fall back into those bad habits versus making a decision to say the second person, number two, if you ask them, hey, you want a cigarette? They're like, no, I am not a smoker. I am a non-smoker. That's their identity of now not being a smoker. And that little subtle change, that tiny change of your identity makes the biggest difference to whether you're going to get to your goal or not, to whether you're going to smoke that cigarette or not, to whether you're going to not be a smoker with some motivation, but then once motivation runs out, you're going to pick up the cigarette again. Probably so, because you identify yourself as a smoker. If this is making sense to anybody, y'all let me know in the chat, man. Say this making sense. Say it's making sense. But same thing for a marathon. If your goal is not to run a marathon, your goal is to become a runner. If you want to, your goal is not to learn how to play a musical instrument. Your goal is to become a musician. It's about the becoming piece that we all miss. So when we come to outcome-based habits, most of us are stuck on an outcome base. And what we do, we start with the outcome. We start with the outcome, and we say, hey, I want to, become a runner. I want to run a marathon. That's the outcome, right? I want to run a marathon. That's my outcome. And then you go to the process of like, okay, well, now I'm going to run every single day, and I'm going to run a half marathon every day until I can run a half marathon in this time, and blah, blah, blah. That's your process. That's your system. And then the last piece is now your identity. Now that you have ran a marathon, you are now identifying yourself as a marathon runner. And that's how most of us think, and that's how most of us got taught in our paradigm of how we grew up. But what I'm here to say is backwards. We don't want to start with the outcome-based habit. We want to start with the identity-based habit. You have to understand where you're going, right? You have to understand what the goal is. But you starting with your identity first of what you truly believe. And instead of saying, hey, I want to, run a marathon, it's like, no, I am becoming a marathon runner. I am a runner. And you start there, and from identifying that, now you now have the belief to actually do that thing. You actually have the belief, you believe in yourself that you can actually run a marathon, and then you practice to run a marathon, and then you go run a marathon, and then you hit your goal, right? So very subtle, different change, but this is the difference between those who are successful and those who are unsuccessful. Those who stick to just waiting on motivation, which comes and goes, and I wouldn't depend on it because motivation is for amateurs. And those who depend on discipline and actually have those processes because they believe, because they have identified themselves as that person who can do the thing that can then have the stuff. So maybe confusing. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Is that confusing? Is it simple? Is it straightforward? Do y'all need more understanding? Y'all let me know what that looks like, because I want to share that with y'all today, because it's a small, subtle change. And I'll say this. A lot of us think we have to change a big piece of our lives. Again, I'm reading a book called Atomic Habits. And in this book, the whole book is based on tiny changes. Atomic Habits, tiny changes. Easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. And I'll give another analogy, and I'm gonna get up off here. But and if you're on the live, go ahead and drop your gratitude down in the comments. We'd love to see it. But one analogy about these tiny habits is if you were to fly from LA to New York, right? And if you are just tiny, if you are 1 degree off your path, well, over time, that 1 degree is going to put you way off course, and you're not going to make it to New York. Just that one tiny thing, that 1 degree. So the goal is to get 1 degree better, 1 degree closer to identifying yourself of who you are. So you can say, I am. And one thing that I identify myself as, I know who I am because I know whose I am. And for those of y'all out there, y'all may have caught that. I know who I am because I know whose I am. Got that from Myron Golden. Shout out to the GOAT. But who are you? What is your identity today? When you say I am blank, how are you feeling in that blank? Because we need to start there, identify yourself to become the person. And once you become that person, you can then do the thing. And by doing the thing, you now have the thing that you want. So that's my message for today. And I definitely, I hope that made sense to the people. Y'all let me know, man. Y'all give me some feedback. If you don't want to give it in the comments, DM me, let me know. That was confusing, bro. We need to run back through that again. You need to get on the whiteboard. Let me know what y'all need, man. Let me know what you need. But good morning, DeAndre. What's going on, brother? Chris, he said that's a great book, man. An amazing book. I'm only on chapter 2, but I'm already learning a lot from it. So, but anyway, gratitude is the thing. Start off your morning with some gratitude. Focus on finding your identity of what that identity is and how you identify yourself, because that's not going to be your self-image. And on a later video, on a later day, I'm going to talk more about self-image on what that looks like, because whatever you portray as your self-image, that's the projection that everybody else is viewing you as well. So it's very, very, very important to have a positive self-image of yourself, and you can get that through some gratitude, because if you're not grateful for what you already have, why would the Lord give you any more? So drop your gratitude down in the comments, share your gratitude with somebody else today, and simply ask them what they are grateful for as well, because it's a two-way street, and you can help them improve their life today and get into a state of gratitude, into a state of receivership. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all tapping in, and I'll see y'all again tomorrow. For myself, Devin D. Scott, signing off. Y'all gonna be great today.